boys don't do that. Boys don't do that. Boys don't do that. Boys don't dress like that. Boys don't walk like that. Boys don't talk like that.
Don't walk around in girls' clothes, or don't put on too much makeup, or don't be too gay.
Gender expression is a vocabulary, right, in which we express ourselves, and sexuality is as well.
You think like, oh, did they misgender me? Are they secretly thinking like, I'm trans? Are they calling me out? Like, is my voice giving me away?
Mom, I'm gay. And she was basically like, no, like, what do you mean? Like, why is there like another issue with you?
Hello, my name is Dion, and I am a creative based here in Brooklyn, New York.
My name's Brooke Dengler. I live in West Hollywood in California, and I produce educational content for a living.
All right, so my name is Paulin. I describe myself as a upper middle-aged gay man in the creative industry.
So my name is Tommy Padamavong. I'm 22 years old, and I'm a business student at USC.
Hi, I'm Mickey Mars. I'm a photographer, videographer living in Los Angeles, California, and I'm gay.
Mickey, take one on everything. I personally had a very tough time in Arkansas for the majority that I never felt like I fit in. My family caught on my flamboyant ways as a child and kind of like, boys don't do that. Boys don't do that. Boys don't do that. Boys don't dress like that. Boys don't walk like that. Boys don't talk like that. And I got to the point I was like, well, what do boys do? Like, what do we do? Because like no one's telling me these things. I don't know. I'm just being who I am. So like I have no idea like what to do, how to hold myself, any of these things. And I got to school and people were like, are you gay? Are you gay? Do you like boys? I'm like, I'm 9. I have no idea what you're talking about. I literally couldn't tell you. And there's just always been the stereotype that, gay or queer was like a negative thing, it was a bad thing. There was never any light of what queerness looked like for me as a child. So it just put this harbor on me that I can never come out as gay because I know exactly what is drawn to that.
I grew up in a Catholic home, and like that is like not a thing. Like my whole family is like super, super Catholic. And growing up, I honestly thought I was like the devil.
That really played a lot of tricks on your head, right? Because it was just like, I'm gay. This is not the right thing to be. It's crazy, like there's a lot of sort of, shame that gets attached to that, because you don't feel integrated in society at all.
When living as a gay man, I definitely felt societal pressure to live one way, be more in line to what everyone else was like. So as puberty was hitting and the hormones were hitting me, my voice was dropping, and I just put on like this masculine facade just to deal with it. That's how I used to talk.
And this is called spironolactone. And it's basically an anti-testosterone pill.
The standard narrative that you hear in society for trans people is that I was born in the wrong body, but that's not the case for a lot of people. Back when I identified as a gay man, I didn't really have like any dysphoria per se about my body. At times I felt internalized transphobia, and I felt like I didn't want to date men that I perceived as being like feminine. It's funny, this was one of the breaking points of realizing I was trans, like in this picture right here. Because like, I was like trying to work out. I thought I would feel better if I had like a better body and all that. But like, I realized like, it didn't make me feel good. And it like actually made me feel even worse, having like broader shoulders and like a V-waist and all that. And that's when I like really knew there was something up.
I feel like any light that I had as a child, the brightness that comes with being young, that comes with, being curious and all of that, being closeted, kind of like dimmed that within me.
I would wear legalized gay shirts for like free dress day, and I got detention.
My family was very opposed to me being gay. It was a big shaming thing. It was, I was even called a faggot by my parents. It was just pretty bad.
I kind of just like made a mistake And then my dad found out. So he was so pissed at me. And I remember being in the living room and he actually just like beat the shit out of me. And I was like just 11 years old.
You know, I think it taught me how to kind of protect myself. It allowed me today to feel so proud of myself, to feel so grateful for where I am. And I think like I love myself so much more because I went through that.
We didn't have a sense of community and we didn't have a sense of empowerment such as what we have now. And that makes a big difference in your day-to-day behavior, right?
When you're at a gay bar or like a queer bar, there's this sense of community and family that ended up translating, you know, to my everyday life, because I ended up feeling so comfortable in my own skin that I wasn't afraid to express myself, and honestly in any way I was not afraid.
It's not something for me to understand, but Black men are always deemed to be invincible, to be tough, strong, never crying, never feeling, never emoting anything. And I'm complete opposite of all of those things. And I think it's something that took me a long time to release and understand that it's not my responsibility to kind of mold how people see me.
Gender expression and sexuality is really tied to your identity, because if you're hating yourself and not showing your like full self to others, you're really not fostering like open and honest communication. Like I've noticed since my transition and feeling better about myself, I'm actually able to have like more honest, emotional like conversations with my friends.
Even though I'm quite gay, there's still that sense of being a little reserved, but I know that like eventually I'm gonna come out as like super fucking queer and like really express it, not just selectively, but like throughout my entire life, and not feeling that I have to like kind of play a certain role depending on where I'm at, if that makes sense.
Where I change up is in certain situations where I read the room and I feel like someone is gonna be uncomfortable with who I am. That's when I start to change, and it like is unfortunate, but like it is how the world is.
The exact moment I realized like I'm not meant to be understood by you, nor am I under any obligation to make any sense to you, that was my coming out. I was raised by a single mother, and I picked up on so many of her characteristics. I picked up on the way she walked, the way she talked, the way she held herself. And as a child, you look up to your parents as your idols. Like, that woman is my hero. And you want to be exactly like your hero. Like most kids, like they see a superstar, they see like wrestling, they're like, I want to be just like him. I saw my mom and I was like, I want to be just like her, because she was my mold of strong. She was my mold of beautiful. She was everything to me. So I was like, I want to be just like her. More so for self-portraits, I feel like it's the most intimate form of creating for me that I've come to find. With me standing in front of a camera, it's whatever I want to portray, and however I want to capture myself that day, within that moment, within that feeling, that's what I'm able to do. And that's what I think the beauty of self-portraits have brought me, and any chance I get to do it, I'm going to, so yeah.
Gender expression and sexuality are what I would consider to be part of the language of humanity. Right? We relate to one another on many different levels, right? And gender expression is a vocabulary, right, in which we express ourselves, and sexuality is as well.
Some days I will wake up and feel very, masculine within myself. I will dress a certain way. I will hold myself a certain way. Some days I wake up, I'm extremely flamboyant. I will hold myself in that way. I will dress that way. I will, carry myself in that manner. And I think that's just like the beauty of how much I've come to love myself is like, I have no restraints on what I will allow myself to feel.
Once I came out and I really started just being so unapologetically gay, it was it's kind of intimidating, honestly, for some people.
I feel like once I accepted who I was inside, the confidence just came with that. Like a different type of confidence of like, I can wear whatever the fuck I want. I can say what I can, like flirt with pretty girls on the street. Like,
I don't know, I think there's just so much power in holding like the remote into how people perceive you.
me and my best friend are like super androgynous, short hair, Asian girls, tattoos. And she's one of the reasons why I'm like okay with it now. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's like confuse people a little bit. I think it's like a game at this point. Like, life should be like handled like that, like so lightly. So like, you want to wake up, wear a skirt, wear a skirt. If you want to wear sweats and a beanie, you can like totally do that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, let's fuck with the masses of people that are like, oh, you can only be this way. You can only be this way. Okay, we'll see about that.
Now we're really empowered because it's just like being gay is not, it's not what defines you, right? You're a human being who happens to be gay.
I don't ever want someone to just be like, oh, you're just gay. You're gay. I'm like, okay, and I'm gay, and you know what I mean? So that I don't necessarily agree with, but I will say it has defined my life. It's defined how I carry myself, how I interact with other people. It's impacted a lot of my life, so I guess it has shaped my identity and like defined me in a sense, yeah.
I'm very proud of defining myself as a gay man in the professional world.
I make it a point to make sure that I walk into every single room and people just know that I'm queer. They don't have to ask me, I don't have to come out. I actually ended up doing a fellowship for a presidential campaign, a pretty successful one, I won't say which one. I was able to have long hair, to wear more feminine clothes, to have like pink or blue eyeshadow while I was working in Congress, but it's still palatable, right? Because I'm wearing a suit, or because I don't have like any kind of surgeries, or I'm not taking any kind of hormones, but I have to make space for everyone else. So by proving that I'm competent, I'm smart, I'm hardworking, I can do all of the same things that straight white men can do, I feel like once they see me do it, they'll be more accepting of seeing someone who's more gay than me, even if that's possible. Or like trans, you know? Like there's no trans women in my entire department. I remember the first drag queen I ever saw, her name was Marina Del Rey, and I just remember her doing like these snaps in the beginning. And I thought that was so cool. And I was just like 14 years old, like, what the fuck am I looking at? Like, this is the shit that I do in my bedroom by myself. I genuinely thought I was gonna be a drag queen. Like, I thought that was gonna be my life. I thought I was gonna move to LA, do drag, and I don't know, go on RuPaul's Drag Race or something. But that didn't end up happening. I ended up going to fucking business school and working in politics.
Something I think about all the time is the difference from then to now, right?
This generation is crazy. This generation is literally insane, and it's something that is so beautiful to see because every time I go home, I experience a new creative. I experience, you know, another queer person that was not there when I was there. The fact that Arkansas has a pride parade is just crazy to me. Crazy, but it's like the most beautiful thing because I just think like if I was a kid during that time and I saw a pride parade, like that would have done so much for me.
I've never been to Pride. When I went there, I like sobbed just because like I was alone. I didn't really I just wanted to go because like I've never been. Went, saw the parade, saw everyone smiling and just being themselves, sobbed. I was like, this is so emotional, and like they're not even talking to me and I feel support.
Jesus is the King.
There's quite a bit of work to be done, right? I mean, there's still a lot of homophobia out there. There is still violence against, the LGBT community, the transgender community particularly.
Nowadays, when you're gay, it seems like it's easier compared to 10 or 20 years ago. And for trans people, it's a little bit easier, but still pretty hard.
There's no one big coming out for gay people. You don't just like one day you come out and then everyone knows, right? We're constantly coming out to people every single day, and it gets easier as time goes on, and it can just be something as casual as like you're with a coworker at lunch and you just mention, oh, my boyfriend.
I'm not always clear that the younger generations of gays really understands and really appreciates what it's taken, from my generation and generations before me in order to have what we have now, right? A huge segment of the gay population of my age is gone, and I had a few friends who died, and it was very scary because suddenly it's just like you didn't want to go hook up with people, because you didn't know what was going on, and everyone was afraid, obviously. And then you had a friend who started having Kaposi sarcoma, right, which was the big gay cancer where you get these dark purple stain on your skin, and you knew that was it. There was no treatment for it, right? So that really just sort of cut things out. I became HIV positive at a time where medication was available. So it was no longer a life-threatening illness. It was just, at the time, it was just like, well, this is going to be a chronic illness. You take a pill for the rest of your life, and you're going to be fine. You're going to live your life like anybody else. So I take it lightly because that's been the case.
I just feel grateful for those people that stepped up and faced that opposition and dealt with it and persevered, because I don't know if I'd be able to do that. I feel like I'm riding on the coattails of being trans because I fortunately have a job that supports me and that network of family. So overall, while I don't remember their names, I'm just really grateful for those who came before me.
That's something that this generation that's coming up even, they're gonna have so much more understanding of what it looks like to be a queer person. They're gonna have so much more knowledge and empathy for this community because it's being shown to them. Even though it may not be being taught in schools, the tools that we have, that we use every single day, that's the notebook. Should it be that way? No, but these are our notebooks.
Guys, in my opinion, are shown they get to show the passion, they get to show the love story, they get to show the struggle. While females, I feel like since I've been younger, I've only ever seen gay females in hypersexual scenes, and I just want to take away from that and kind of show more of the beauty in the spectrum and what we are.